Hi everybody. Let me tell you the number one concern I'm hearing out there in the market today from our clients, and that is the higher interest rate. And a lot of them are saying, well, the interest rate's a little higher than it was a year's time ago, and I'm waiting for the impending apocalypse before I decide to cash in my sweeps and become a homeowner and take full advantage of all the benefits that come with that. Let me tell you why that's not always the case. Let me show you some products we have available to take full advantage of the market today and come out the other end far happier than you would be maybe waiting 6 to a year's time, and show you all the benefits of buying into a buyer's market. First off, yes, we're in a buyer's market. It's not like it was a year ago when you had lines out the door and multiple offers far exceeding listing price. No, here today we're seeing the sellers giving concessions in the form of credits towards closing costs, buy downs of the rate for a better rate and payment, towards repairs such as AC units, termite, roof repair, and any other items that may be necessary. Let me give you a little quote from Warren Buffett. Maybe you heard of him. He's known as the Oracle of Omaha and is widely considered to be the greatest investor of the 20th century. He said, "Be fearful when other people are greedy, and be greedy when other people are fearful." And basically what he's saying is, when things are down and things are on sale, that's when you buy, that's when people make their money, and that's when fortunes are made. Let me show you this. Here's the home prices back in 2008. Do you remember '08? We all lived through it. Everybody is thinking, I'm gonna wait. If you were talking about buying a house back then, they would think you're absolutely insane to buy a house back then. What are you doing? It is the apocalypse right now. If you purchased back then, let's take a look at home prices here today. Man, that's a heck of a number. 213% average returns as far as appreciation goes on houses that were purchased in '08. That's just another example of how the market is cyclical, and that when things are down, things go on sale, and if you buy into those lower headwinds, you are rewarded mightily when the economy ultimately turns around. I also got more good news for you, and that is you already won the lottery. You already have the golden ticket. This is America. And as far as this instability goes around the world, instability in the market goes, there's a place where people come running. There's a place where people put their money. All around the world they come here. And I know it's not the sexy story that CNN or Fox or MSNBC wants to put out there, because, you know, a good story doesn't necessarily sell. So, and that is, you know, not every one of our citizens are starving to death, and economically, we're doing pretty okay for ourselves in comparison to most places on the world. And yeah, so the US dollar is not going to be leaving the reserve status for any time in the future here coming up. And I bring this up in particular because there's a lot of people out there assuming the worst, wishing for the worst, hoping for the worst, planning for the worst. And unfortunately, that for them, that's not going to happen. Most fortunately for us, it is going to happen. And that's why our land is in fact the golden ticket. Let me make the case to you why now, for some people, it is a great time to buy. Let me tell you why there's a benefit to mortgage interest. I hear you saying, the benefit to mortgage interest, really? And I'm going to say, yes, really. Let's talk about it. To begin with, mortgage interest is nowhere near its historical high. It's nowhere near its historical mean. In the early 2000s, it was 9%. In the 90s, it was in the low teens. In the 80s, as high as 20%. Now, as far as the current rate goes, any further Fed hikes have already been baked into the cake at this point for the most part. And we're expecting interest rates to start lowering within a year's time. Now, my personal expectation is third quarter of this year. I'm not Miss Cleo, but if I'm right, you can ding the bell and subscribe. But so I hear some people saying, well, what about, this sounds like maybe I should wait. And I'm gonna tell you why that's not necessarily always the case. Because most people think like that, sometimes they miss a great opportunity. It's never a good time for them to become homeowner and take full advantage of the benefits that come along with that. It's never a good time. It wasn't a good time 10 years ago. It wasn't a good time a year ago. It's not a good time now. I have a question for you. When would it ever be a good time for you to inconvenience yourself and become a homeowner and take full advantage of it? Now, let's talk about your mortgage payment real quick. It consists of a few items: principal, interest, taxes, insurance. And for the sake of this video, I want to focus on the principal, the interest, and the taxes. Now, when it comes to your taxes and interest, both those items come back to you in the form of a tax credit on your income tax, which is great. So let's say your monthly payment is $2,500 and you get back $5,000 from your income tax. Now, that money comes from your mortgage interest and your property taxes. But let's take that $5,000, we divide it by 12. What you end up with is $416 a month that you're getting back from your mortgage payment. So your effective mortgage payment isn't, in fact, $2,500. No, it's $2,080. As far as your principal goes, that's called forced savings. That comes back to you in the form of equity. And equity is the ownership you have in your own home. Now, there are many, many ways that equity comes back to you. Hence why we call it forced savings, part of your payment. Now, as far as the ways that money comes back to you, I am going to go over that in future videos somewhere down the road. Now, let's say you're the individual who's out there watching this thinking, wow, that's really amazing that the interest everybody's been talking about this whole time actually comes back to me in the form of a tax deduction and money into my pocket in the here and now. That's great. Still would like a lower interest rate. Well, I got great news for you. Because part 2 of this video upon its release will be available up here if you can click it. And basically, imagine if we can save you 2% in your interest rate here today, and that sets you up very nicely to refinance into a lower rate later. So essentially, here today, you're taking full advantage. You're getting the concessions from the seller. You're getting a lower interest rate here today, and when interest rates start to come down, you lock that lower interest rate in, and as it continues to come down, the more and more savings you get. It's essentially the old saying of marry your house, date your interest rate. And now it's more truer than ever. So if I piqued your interest in that video, please check that video out. Finally, I'd like to say, if you gained any value from this, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend, share the post. We're trying to grow this channel here and now. Here's my information. If you have any questions about getting pre-approved, taking full advantage of this buyer's market that we're going to be in for the next 6 to 7 months, if you're ready to take the next step and get into the house of your dreams, I'm in this for the long run. Give me a call. I'll answer any question you have. I'll walk you the whole way through. Have a blessed year. I know 2023 is going to be an amazing year, and I want you to be excited about it too. So I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to making more content for you, and let's make it happen here this year. God bless. Have a good year.